What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Breaking Boundaries. We got our special guest today. You guys all know my son, Giovanni, due to the fact I speak about him a lot on here, and I give him a lot of praise. Super grateful you got to come to the show, son. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah,
Pretty
bro.
good?
Yep.
Thank you for being here. I just want to say before we start that, how old are you?
17.
So this kid is one of the smartest people I've ever met, dude. He's more mature than most of you people in your freaking 40s and 50s. Got a conscious mind, thinks consciously. I mean, dude, if you need someone for your kids to look up to, look at Gio. Follow him on TikTok. You have an IG too?
No. Well, I do, but I don't post on it. No.
All right. Well, with that said, I'm going to stop glazing.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, I know I'm not good at taking compliments. Gio, you that way too?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, I know I'm not good at it either, bro.
I'm
I'm
not
not good
either.
at like receiving gifts, dude, or like anything. You know what I mean? Like, what does that mean, bro?
Yeah, dude.
What does that mean?
I think when you've, lived life a little bit and like you're confident in who you are, like internally, I think we struggle to take compliments because it's like, we don't think of ourselves as anything special, right? We don't think of ourselves as like someone who deserves a compliment for doing whatever it is we're doing, right? And so I think that's why it's hard to take compliments, because like when someone compliments me, I don't know how to react, dude.
Dude, it really doesn't even mean shit to me. To be honest with you, it really doesn't. Bro.
Yeah, like I appreciate it and everything, but it's like,
but I don't feel some type of way. Like I don't feel the need that I like need that to feel okay, or I need, you know what I'm saying? I don't. So I get that too. What do you think, Gio? What do you think?
I feel like people who are so aware and so concerned with what other people think are gonna like be able to receive them better or be like more appreciative of them. I think because they're so worried about like what other people think, like whether it's good or bad, they're going to have more of a reaction. Whereas someone who doesn't and just does what they want, like isn't going to like.
Are you talking about the person
reaction.
giving the compliment?
No, I mean like receiving a compliment, and like the people that are receiving these compliments and those people like are so concerned with what other people think of them. I feel like they're going to have a bigger reaction.
Oh, they're going to have
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, there you go. I love that. Okay, so there's a good answer, man. So it's that we don't care too much about what other people think,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So
I
of course,
like
I
that.
still appreciate things or whatever, but it's not like I'm like it changed my life or anything.
Yeah, but I understand Alan's part of it too, as well. The way you explained it too, Alan. You know what I mean? And I understand how you explained it, and the fact that because I'm like when people say or give me like wow, look at your life or wow, what I'm like okay, and like I don't feel like anything special because of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the things that I do, I feel like I'm supposed to do them. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like they're or is it I don't know what it is, dude.
yeah, no.
Who gives a fuck?
What I'm saying is kind of what Gio's saying. Like when you're someone who's always concerned about other people and you have that
then it matters.
insecurity,
Yeah, then it matters to you. Yeah.
Yeah. But when you're like you're comfortable with yourself and you're traveling your path and you have standards for the way that you want to live your life,
Right.
you're not so concerned about other people's confirmation. You
Right.
don't need anyone to confirm that you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing for yourself. You know?
So Gio, tell me about the gym, bro.
What about it, bro?
Why do you do it?
Because I love it. Because I like doing it. I've always loved like going and like the journey. I'm not super like concerned with this end result of being this size. Like obviously I want to be bigger, whatever. I want to pursue that. But it's like, I just love going every day, and that's like what keeps me going. And I just love doing it. Like it's so rare. There's a day where I like just don't want to go unless I'm like super sick or I feel like it's better if I don't. But like, yeah, I just love doing it. Yeah.
Isn't it a trip? People that are like, oh man, I gotta go to the gym today. I've never felt that way, bro.
Yeah, and I feel like
it's never been a chore, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like most of that is people doing things like they don't enjoy because they assume that's what gives them the best results. Like doing a program or a split or doing these exercises they hate doing, and they just keep doing it because they think it's the best for them, and they absolutely don't enjoy it, so they're not consistent.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Hey, yeah, and that's true. And it's good to do things that are hard and things that you don't want to do in life, but like you don't have to live to that standard where it's like, I hate working out, I hate going to the gym, I hate running, and that's why I do it because I hate it. And you have to do the things that you hate to make any progress in life. You know, like you hear people like Andrew Tate talk about shit
but
like
I think
that.
there's a balance in everything, bro.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? There's a balance, the motivational, spiritual. We talked about it before. Like being balanced in all aspects of your life is what creates success. You know what I mean? Not being one way or the other. But I know I loved it. I talked to G about it, and or we talked about like at the gym when you love doing a workout, you get a really good workout, right? You know, or when you're in a good mood and you really want to be there, you get a really good workout in.
Right.
But when you don't, you don't.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And like, you know, you put yourself in that mental realm that you need to be in. And if you do that, then you're going to enjoy your workout. If you constantly fight the need to work out mentally, you know, you're not going to get that mental and physical gain out of it.
Well, that's usually people that are doing it to lose weight or to look good or whatnot. But he obviously, as he says, he loves it.
I feel like it really depends on your goal. Like if your goal is to, you know, better your discipline and do things you don't want to do and get out of like this comfort zone, then sure, do things you don't want to do for that purpose. But it's like, if you're trying to stay consistent and get big and achieve this, whatever goal of fitness or lifestyle, being healthy, whatever, it's like you want to be consistent. So you do what you like, you eat what you like, you know, considering it's still healthy and within your goals. But like, it depends on like what you want to do. Like, sure, if you want to better your discipline, like go on these long runs that you hate doing because that'll help you. But like, other than that, just do what you like.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think the gym does for your mental?
I mean, I like going, and it's probably the best thing for me right now. Like it's the only thing I look forward to every day is going to the gym. And I feel like it keeps me like a happy person, I guess.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm going with this question. Like, so it's like, cause me and I share in this podcast all the time, like it can solve any problem. Like any problem you're going through in life, it can either mend it or, you know what I mean? It gives clearing from it, right? It gives you mental clearing.
Yeah. I think it's a good place to kind of leave things at the door and kind of just get a good workout in. And because I know if something's going on, even if I have like a super dirty room or like stuff or some chore I need to do at home, it's like I completely forget about whatever problem I have going on in my life. Once I step in the gym, it's like, and like I can still enjoy my workout despite everything else going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I'll come find myself not taking care of my responsibilities going to the gym first.
Right.
Like I love it, bro. You know what I mean? Like that's what there's never not I don't want to do it, you know? But I believe like as men, like we have to be physically active, bro. Like we weren't built not to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why people are all depressed these days and all kinds of shit. You know, back in the 1800s, there was no depression, dude, because everybody was physically active and doing things. There wasn't like a time to stop and think that you're depressed.
Right,
you know?
right. Yeah, obesity became an epidemic when they started selling, you know, boxed and frozen foods. You know what I mean? Prior to that, you know, everyone was fit because people were living the way they were meant to as far as diet, physical activity. And I mean, you know, back in the day before cars and shit, everyone had to walk everywhere, right? Or I guess you had a horse and carriage and everything, but people were active, you know, and now we have this society that lives on frozen food and chemicals being jam packed into it. And, you know, and we have this mentality within society that like physical activity doesn't matter, you know, and I don't think like I'm not anything like you guys. Like I don't try to lift heavy. I don't try to get big, but like I try to stick with 3 to 4 days of the gym. And like I'm really light with the way I work out, but like there's a routine there for me, right? So it keeps me thinking straight, and like I know that like I have this thing to do that's mentally and physically good for me. that I can rely on, you know?
Yeah. I think too, like people, I was in dinner with these guys and this guy's like, yeah, I go to the gym 3 days a week and I don't know why I'm not seeing any results. I've been doing it for 2 years. I believe if you have a mission somewhere, like you have to be doing 5 days a week, right? Like you go to 3 days a week for maintenance. You know what I mean? What do you think, Gio?
Well, if you're talking about purely muscle growth, I mean,
Whatever, if you have a goal, if you're not where you want to be, you should be at the gym at least 5 days a week.
I get in terms of physique, like you can absolutely get away with 3 days a week if you program correctly. Like a full body 3 days a week is very good, and it'll definitely give you a good physique. There's a lot of rest in there, and it's fine, but it's like your full body 3 times a week. Like you're training each muscle 3 times a week while getting these 4 days of rest compared to 6 days a week and training each muscle twice a week. So in some situations that can actually be better. So it depends on like if you're training, chest, back, legs 3 days a week, once a week, each muscle group. It's like, no,
But you see those people in the gym, bro, that you've been seeing them for years and they go in there and you see no results on them. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not doing
but
they're not doing the full package.
They might be happy with that though, right? Like
I mean, I don't know.
Not
yeah, maybe they are. Maybe
not
you're
everyone
right.
is looking for that not everyone's looking to get jacked, right? And like, yeah, the full body thing, like every trainer I've ever talked to always says if you can't go 5 days a week, you should be doing full body. You shouldn't be trying to group muscles because you're going to have way more better results doing full body if you're going less than,
Giovanni. Go ahead.
I've also seen the perspective of like when I go in the gym and I see someone doing some exercise or maybe they're like, whatever body composition. And it's like, sometimes I catch myself, judging them and their workout, but it's like, I've seen some videos that's saying like, that person in the corner, just got divorced and he's here.
Right.
And he's just trying to work through it. Or this guy has cancer.
Right.
And, he's just trying to keep his mind off things, or this person just lost a ton of weight, or this person just lost 100 pounds, but still 400 pounds,
Right.
And they're just like trying to get at it. So
yeah, I try to look at things like that too, bro, when I'm being judgmental in different aspects of my life. It's like, hey, you never know what they went through. But let me ask you this, Joe. What do you think about depression and anxiety?
I think it's definitely a real thing people can easily get trapped into that is heavily dependent on how much time you have alone to think to yourself. Like definitely depression wasn't as popular back in the day because there was constantly something to occupy their time or something else to worry about other than, what's going on or if I'm sad or da-da-da-da. So definitely nowadays, it's like a lot of people sit alone in their rooms all day, and that definitely contributes to depression and anxiety, whatever. But it's like, I used to disregard it even being real. And I think, it's stupid, bro, just go down and do some push-ups, whatever. But I say it's definitely a real thing, and it's super easy to get trapped into nowadays, especially if you're a kid who kind of just sits in his room all day. But yeah, so I don't disregard it. I think it's relatively simple to get, not really, but
I mean, you don't agree? It's just a state of mind.
Well, yeah,
it's a state of mind, right?
I think it's a state of mind. Yeah.
So it's changing your state of mind.
Yeah, and I don't believe in like taking pills,
right?
Or anything like that. I mean, if you need someone to talk to, whatever resource that is, sure. But yeah, it's a state of mind.
But it's definitely not a pill. It's not a pill solution.
Yeah, no.
I agree
depression or anxiety or bipolarness or any of those things.
Like I wouldn't even be surprised if the pill for depression is like a placebo and you just think it works, so you're happy.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't even be surprised if that's the reality.
Yeah, I agree. I think mental illness is real too. The reason I say that it's not real though when I speak about it is because I'm trying to convey the point that like you don't have to let it control you.
So it's the point that the more you think about it, the more you bring it into fruition.
Right.
So like you said, Gio, like when you have time to sit around your room, right? And then somebody says, oh, you're depressed. And then you start focusing on that. Oh, I'm depressed. I'm depressed. And you keep going down that deeper hole into depression. Whatever is just a word for the thing. You know what I mean? It is what it comes down to, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, do you believe in that? You believe the more you think of something, the more you bring it into fruition?
Yeah. So like the more you're going to
focus on?
Yeah. Like, it's actually from a different podcast I've seen, but it's like, find the color blue in the room. And it's like instantly, oh, you're looking, you notice blue everywhere. And then I'm like, okay, name 3 things that are red. It's like, oh, you didn't see those anywhere. So it's like red being happiness, blue being anger, depression, whatever. It's like when you're looking for depression in the world or anxiety, whatever, it's like you're going to see it everywhere. But if you look for red, if you look for happiness in the world and good things, like you're going to notice them more.
Right. It's just like, you know, when there's a car that you want to buy or there's a car that you do buy, then all of a sudden you start seeing all the cars that are just like your cars.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, that's my car, right? It's all an attraction thing, bro. It's whatever you're giving your attention to. Can you agree on that?
Yeah.
Right. So whatever you're giving your attention to. So if we're giving our attention to, I have depression, I have anxiety. And I'm not saying it's not a real thing either, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to seem like, you know, like it's a thing. What it's called, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But all I do know is that the more you focus on it, the more there's a problem. So the more you keep talking about it and telling people about it, and it attracts it, bro. Then you attract other people that are depressed. Right. And then, oh, everybody else is depressed. I'm depressed too. And it's all a little
Then you
signal,
just sit around and talk with people about your problems all damn day.
Absolutely,
and
dude.
You never find solutions to fix it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. I want to. Gio posted a video the other day, and I wanted to talk about this.
Which one is it?
The one about other people's emotions.
Oh.
You mind if we play that one?
I guess. I don't like watching them back. It cringes me out so much.
I don't shouldn't, bro.
Dude, it's so good, bro. You're tripping, dude.
Only the last 2 I could actually kind of watch back, but like every other one,
Bro, that's your ego involved, bro, with that shit, dude. No, it's a bunch of other stuff. Because I'm telling you from an outside point, not just you're my son and my friends who see it say how amazing it is.
Yeah, it's just seeing myself talk. It's just I don't like saying it, but I wouldn't say the message necessarily is bad.
For sure.
All right, 3rd day doing this talking thing. This topic for today is other people's emotions and not letting them dictate your actions or persuade your opinions just because you want to tend to their emotions and what they might think, right? Like if you're constantly worried about what other people are going to feel, or when someone's sad or angry at something, it keeps you from doing something, or it maybe like stresses you out. Like I know a big problem for me is like when other people might get angry or upset with me and what I do, or maybe I didn't meet up to, you know, their standards, and it like really messes with me and it gets me really stressed out on like my character, and I feel like I'm just a terrible person all the time. And I'm kind of trying to learn like I shouldn't let their anger and their possibly exaggerated reaction persuade and make me feel like a terrible person.
Yeah, dude, I like that you said that so much, because it's kind of what we're talking about. Like if you're like, because as humans, we constantly let the way that other people feel that are around us dictate how we feel.
And
right?
what we do.
And
how
what we
act.
do, right? And it's such a humanistic thing to do, you know? It's natural for us to be that way. And if you aren't conscious that you're doing it, you can go through life just constantly worried about other people and never worrying about yourself and what you can do for yourself and how you can control your own mood and your own feelings and your own emotions, right? And I struggled with that a lot. And like to hear you talk about that, you know, it's such a young age. It's just nice to hear the younger generation thinking that way, dude. Because
he's not just a younger generation, bro. He's different.
No, exactly.
You know what I mean?
But to hear anyone from that generation to be talking that way, it's a good thing for society, man. And you got to keep projecting that into the world. That's
and then by the way, once you don't do that anymore, then people are like, fuck you, you're an asshole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Once you don't care and you don't let it affect you, and they see that, bro. So it's also the other people, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like this trap of serving other people or other people liking you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly, for sure.
Why don't you dive deeper into it, G?
Yeah, I really wanted to. I feel like I should have emphasized more. The last part of the video, I said possibly exaggerated emotions. Like everyone's emotions, like you can't expect people to have to or be in full control of their emotions to like a high extent. But it's like you have to expect that, or at least assume most people's emotions are going to be exaggerated. They're not like ask him a week later about it, and it's gonna die down, whether it's anger, sadness, happiness, I guess. Like everyone's emotions are gonna be exaggerated to some extent, I think, for the most part. So it's like if you let this exaggerated emotion that's not even real a week later, like consume your life, it's just a waste. And you're gonna live, at least in my opinion, you're gonna live a long life of
misery,
stress. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing about not letting other people, you know what I mean? Not letting other people bother you and affect you. And that's the stuff I constantly, because also they're not, for one, they're not even doing anything to you or trying to do anything to you. They're just being them. You know what I'm saying? And their emotion, that's how they see it, because everything in your world is how you see it. That's how you believe it to be, right? That's what it is. And so a biggest deal for me, or what helps me with that, man, is just, for one, not caring. You're good at that. You know what I mean? And also just knowing like they're not doing anything to me. They're just being them. You know, that's a big way. Cause that's how I accept it. It's easier. Other people are like, oh, why don't you argue with them? Or why don't you tell them your point? Or why don't you tell them how they're wrong? It's like, fuck no, then I'm losing, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, no, I'm not. Like, why are you not argumentative or whatever? Like, I don't argue with people, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there's nothing to argue about. You know what I mean? There's nothing, bro. And so then people call you cold-hearted because you're separate from people like that. Right, Gio? I know kind of the way you carry yourself. People think that you don't care, you know what I mean? And that you're cold or you're being rude or this or that stuff, right? But I think that you're dealing with and you're going through like a transition of disconnecting from people, but still connecting to them, right? Like disconnecting in a fact where they don't affect you, right? But still having a connection. It's a crazy thing to navigate, dude.
Yeah, I just don't find value in like little meaningless situations that it's like, oh, she said this and it meant this, and this happened, and it's like secretly she was trying to do this and you know, tell me this, like, you know, behind the scenes. It's like, I just don't care. Like it just doesn't, like, I don't care. Like,
yeah, for sure. No,
that's my son, bro.
Yeah. I used to be that way too. Like I'd walk into work and I'd go have to like talk to someone or ask someone for something, and they snap at me in some way, or they'd be in some sort of mood that, you know, that I didn't like, that was making me feel uncomfortable. I was letting their horrible mood make me feel uncomfortable, right? And then that would dictate my whole day. Then I'm all pissed off because this person treated me some sort of way, and really all I had to do was just be conscious of the fact that whatever they have going on is what they have going on to cause them to act the way that they're acting. It has nothing to do with me. I'm not that important in their life to where the way that they're acting is because of me, and just ignore it and go about your day, you know?
Yeah, it's a difficult thing to navigate through, man, with separating yourself from people, and especially if you're an empath and if you feel people's emotions a lot. Like it's hard to navigate to still love people, but then separate yourself in that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of a process, dude. But I know exactly what he's saying, bro. I talk about on the show all the time. I don't give a shit about any of those details. I hate details, bro. Details do not matter, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But one thing I think is very important is really being, I guess you can call it like emotionally intelligent, but like really just aware of situations and people's emotions, and not like so much caring about like the tiny little details of, oh, like she meant this and this. But it's like, if you're talking to someone in relationships, like any type of relationship, it's like you need to be aware of like perhaps how they're feeling or what they're saying or the tone of their voice, and just being aware of these, I guess, like social cues, I feel like is incredibly important, and really needs to be like intentionally like studied on, or like you should be intentionally trying to look for these cues in conversations, and I feel like that'll help a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot to navigate. I kind of understand what you're saying. I'm trying to like, I don't know, when I'm talking to somebody, it's hard. Like for me, when I'm talking to somebody, like I can like feel all their stuff, where it's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's because of this, or oh, it's because of that, or it's like, it just happens automatically. So I don't know if that's what he's talking about.
Yeah. So like, I'm not incredibly like emotionally like empathetic. Like I don't like feel their emotions. Like, sure, I understand you're sad, whatever. I guess that's sympathy. But I mean, like, let's say you want to tell a joke and you can just feel like the air and the situation, like maybe it's too far, or like embarrass them in front of this person, or
Right. Okay. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that, like
Yeah.
that kind
I
of
get-
thing.
Yeah.
And just like understanding the situation and like the whole like air, the atmosphere of the conversation, and like making the correct vocal decisions. during
Yeah,
that
bro.
conversation.
Okay. I like that. But that takes, you have to care. You have to be considerate to do that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people aren't
absolutely.
considerate. So I get exactly what you're saying, right? Like, cause I'm not going to be mean, or I'm not going to say, let's throw somebody off or make, but other people aren't considerate. You know what I mean? And so that's it. Now I get your point, and that people need to take more and prioritize that. Dude, I love that, bro.
Yeah.
Hell
I mean,
yeah.
most people are so wrapped up in themselves.
Yeah,
in,
they don't.
in the sense that, like, not in the sense like everyone should be focused on themselves. If we all focused on ourselves a little bit more, the world would operate a lot better. But most people are so wrapped up in themselves, they think everything revolves around them, right?
Yeah.
They think that the way that you speak to them should be how they want you to speak to them.
Yeah.
They think that the words that you use should be the words that
I
they
was
want you
like
to
that.
use, you know
I was
what
like
I
that,
mean?
bro. I was like that.
Yeah.
Everything was, it's a victim mentality thing now.
Right.
It's a me thing. And the more that we get out of me, the happier we are, and the more we stay in the present moment and get away from me. And that's why they talk about like helping others and giving to others and like putting into others. There's balance in it. Because I talk about it constantly, like, no, put yourself first.
Yeah.
But there's balance in it. Like whatever gets me out of me, the gym, meditation, yoga, hanging out with my kids, bro, whatever it is, whatever gets me away from me, the me syndrome, if you want to call it, you know what I mean? And it's really freeing, bro. It's really freeing.
For sure.
But I mean, do you agree, Giovanni? Like you can put yourself in your own trap in your head.
Yeah, absolutely.
You put yourself in your own trap in your head, right? Here's the thing too, because there's a difference between intuition and your mind running. You know what I'm saying? So like, you're gonna trust yourself, right? This mind that takes you in 1,000 different directions, right? It takes you with, you're thinking this, you're thinking that, you're thinking this, you're thinking that. Like, how are you gonna trust that? You know what I'm saying? You can go, you agree? You can go down you can create this whole story in your head that's not even true. Have you ever experienced that?
I feel like that does stem from being like thinking everything's wrapped around you, and I feel like you just need to get out of that and just realize, like, no, not everything's about you. No, they didn't mean that about you or whatever. It's like, it's not that serious, and just like take a step back and just like humble yourself a little bit.
So he just answered that question perfectly. He just gave me an answer I've been looking for. So why I go down that and telling that whole negative story is because it started with being about me, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's good, man. Because I've been looking for an answer for that for a while. We've talked, you know what I mean? Of why do I go down this crazy tangent of making this whole story up that's not even true, because I'm being so selfish at the time, and it's about me.
And even if it is about you and they did mean that and they do think this about you, like, who cares? Like, you shouldn't let that go down into the spiral of caring and
No, what I kind of meant was where your head takes you down this whole story of, this person's, I guess that is kind of what.
Yeah,
what
like whether they meant it or not, it's like, it shouldn't be a concern. Like unless you need to look into that and you are being a bad person or an inconsiderate person, and you do need to like recognize that about yourself.
What do you think about thinking negative about situations, thinking positive about situations, and how that affects the trajectory of your life?
I mean, it does. I mean, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Like, thinking negatively, like I was saying, if you look at negative things and you're constantly worried about negative, and you always see that in situations and in yourself, it's like, that's all your life is going to be, is negativity compared to positivity, if you're looking for that.
So do you believe that you are the creator of your reality?
Yeah. Actually, in this book, I read like 3 pages of and then gave up.
When he said read a book, bro, I was like, holy shit, I don't even know what's going on with my son. He read a book?
But I had it like next to my bed when we were up on the hill. Like, one of the first pages was that you, in some way, some form, you made the decision that led you here. Whether it's like you go to work and something happens at work, it's like you still chose to go to work. Like, yeah, you're scheduled, you have to go, you have to show up, but it's like you made the conscious decision, you have free will, and you went there. and that puts you in this situation. So it's like, no, like throughout all your life, it's like you can't even explain really any other way. It's like you put yourself there. You made the decision, whether it was kind of forced on you or not. It's like you have free will. You made the decision.
Right.
You brought yourself here, and
Right.
it's your responsibility.
So like the job you work, right, or the things you have, how did you get them? You created it in your mind first, right?
I mean, yeah, I think you can end up places without the intent.
Without the intent.
Like you can. I mean, it's even like I feel like a lot of it can be God. Like God leads you in these ways. You had no intent of being here with this career, but somehow, I mean, technically, you still made the decisions, and you have free will. You got yourself there, but you had never had the intent to be a teacher. You never had the intent to be a pastor, but you were led there technically by your own free will, but I feel like it could be the guidance of God in your life.
You allowed God to lead you there,
yeah.
right? You allowed God to lead you there.
Yeah, I feel like you have to be on God's path. You have to allow Him to guide you.
Right. Your path, your base, your foundation has to start with God. You know what I'm saying? If your foundation starts with God, then God can lead you. But we can stop God from leading us by worldly things, by doing what other people think, by doing things out of ego. And I want to be rich because of this, so I could show everybody this. Like, that's not going to take you to God's path, right? I mean, there's tons of stories, bro. People that freaking, they had no idea they were going to be there. There's this guy that owns this huge fence business, bro, that's nationwide. And all he did was start building fences for his neighbor, right? And then another neighbor said, oh, we want you to build a fence. And another neighbor, and he has an international multi-tens of $1 million company, bro, from that. Did he ever plan on being a fence builder? No. But that's also what I talk about, son, is about saying yes to everything. Like saying yes to everything. I feel like if I say yes to everything, to every opportunity, there's a balance in it, because I know through the learning process of it, I've had to learn some things, right? And another thing is like, if it's God-given, it's not going to give a negative effect on your life.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're doing something for money and you're working a job and you're just barely getting by on your bills, it's because it's not God-given. You know what I mean? You're not, if it's bringing negative energy, dude, it's not for you.
But at the same time, I feel like I do believe there does have to be some sort of hardship. I feel like God, when you're on you're like on His path, it's like there's going to be hardship. He will test you. Like if you ask for strength, He's not going to give you strength. He's going to give you a situation or opportunity to become stronger through that. Not necessarily just boom, you have more strength.
Yeah, when I heard that too, bro, I be careful what I ask God for, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
bro, because it's that's what I've gotten, man. Is a lot of lessons, and I believe that like the bigger. But do you believe that you're destined for a path? It's already written.
Yes.
You believe it's already written?
Yeah, I feel like considering God is like out of this, out of time, and He knows what's going to happen. Technically, there is like, I will leave here, I will turn right, or whatever it is, or I will have this career later on. It's like, it is there. Like it doesn't just, it will happen eventually. It doesn't exist now to us, but it technically happens. So no matter what you do, like if you knew you were going to do this career and you like knew the future, sure, maybe you could somehow change it or whatever. But it's like, no matter what you do, this is still what's going to happen, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. I think that yes, it is true, because in your religion and in mine, it's defined that your life is written. God has already written your life, but you're here on earth. You don't know what's written. So you're still making the choices. You still have free will. You're still deciding where you're going, and you're still, choosing to do the things that you do to get where you're going. And so that's why I say that I don't think that we have like a planned destiny that's planned by us.
Yeah, exactly.
But God knows what's going to happen. God already, before you're born, God knows where your life is going and every single thing that's going to happen in your life. But on earth, in this worldly life that we live, we don't know, and we still make the decisions, and we still make our choices, and we still take ourselves where we're going, right?
And that's not saying, like, let's say you're born into a family that sucks, and you can like say like, okay, probably eventually I'm going to end up like them in this situation. I'm going to whatever. It's like, yeah, you can get out of that and like change that destiny that you think would happen if you like went along with your parents' ways or whatever. But like in terms of just like what's going to happen, it's already there. It's just
already
a matter
done.
of time. Yeah.
It's already done. It's
Yeah.
just the timeline.
Yeah.
What you're saying. It's already done. Okay. And did God make that decision for you, or do you think you decided that before you came here?
I don't think he necessarily made the decision, but he is aware of it and he knows. Like that's an argument I see people where it's like, oh, you don't really have free will because God knows. No, he doesn't know. But I mean, he doesn't control it, but he knows of it. Like if you know what's going to happen in a TV show and you're watching it and you know what happens at the end, you didn't control that outcome, but you're aware of it. And I feel like that's like God's perspective outside of it.
You make your choices and your decisions.
Yeah.
God just knows that those are the choices and decisions you're going to make.
Yeah.
So do you think an idea is placed on your head by God? Is placed in your mind?
Yeah,
Something
yeah.
that you believe in, that you just know you're going to get there. You don't know how, you don't know what, but do you think that's placed by God?
Yeah, I think it can
There's
be.
something you just can't give up on. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I think
you just
it can be.
you just have a knowing of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, it can be.
I think that's God given, as long as it's not ego driven.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like ego driven, because I talk about that. Like I've manifested things out of ego, right? And then they weren't what I wanted them to be, right? So those weren't God given. I was given those things, you know, or I manifested a word from, or whatever you want to call it, right? But it was out of ego. It wasn't from God. You know, and then they weren't the peace and happiness, because they talk about it all the time. Like you want this thing, and then you get there, and then you realize like it's shit. You know what I mean? And you don't realize all the stuff that comes with it. Like that's ego driven. You know, I think you're able to get both. Alan.
Yeah, no, I agree. And no, I'm thinking about what you're saying right now. No, yeah, I agree with that. When you attract those negative things into your life, you're probably fighting God's intention for you, right? Like when something happens in your life that isn't meant to be, it's not meant to be part of where you're going. You're typically fighting what God has planned for you. You know, because as humans we want to fight things all the time because we think we know what's best.
We want to take control.
Yeah,
we want to take control. Well, it's either a lesson or a blessing.
Right. I like that. Yeah.
Either a lesson or a blessing. What do you think, G? Is it either a lesson or a blessing?
Yeah.
It's either a lesson or a blessing, right? And even a lesson's a blessing.
Yeah.
Right? Because it gets you where you want to go. There is no positive without negative. Right? Like all these people that got to where they want to go, these special people, you know, rich, famous, whatever it is, right? Like the negative shit and you had to conquer it to have that thing. So most of the time, the negative stuff that we're going through is because we have to relearn that lesson in order to get what we want. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise you're not going to keep it. I truly believe in that. It's the only answer, bro, because I've had a lot of lessons. You know what I mean? I've had a lot of lessons, bro.
Yeah, I guess it's learning the hard way, right? Like sometimes you have to figure out what it is that you want or need by attracting the wrong thing first.
What do you feel about regretting anything in the past? Because remember, everything that's ever happened in your life has led up to this very moment.
Yeah. I'd like if you don't deal with this like regret, and like if you don't deal with it and it just sticks with you and it just like influences your life so much, I definitely disagree with that you should be doing that. And but it's like once you solve something or come to terms with something, it should be like gone. Like it doesn't affect you anymore. And when you leave things undone and you regret them, like it will affect your life.
Right.
If that's what you're asking.
Yeah, I mean, you know my story, and I've had a lot of pain in my life, dude, and a lot of things that I've done and gone through, right? And I don't regret any of them, right? Because it made me who I am today. Like that was my path. You know what I mean? So like other, you know, people, and they talk a lot about in the church about feeling shameful. You know what I mean? What do you think about shame and guilt?
I think it has its place. I think when you do something shameful, you should feel guilty, especially in terms of like God, like when you are close with God and you sin, like you should feel shame and regret, but you coming to terms with that and praying and asking for forgiveness is you resolving that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, because Jesus died on the cross, like you know you're saved and it's over. Like
Right.
I forget the exact like quote, but in the Bible it says like, it's like Jesus forgets or whatever. It's like it never even happened.
Right. I think they were talking about in church, the last church we were in or something. I kind of remember in church where he's talking about like, where he's like, oh no, but I'm a sinful and I'm a bad person. He's like, no, Jesus died on the cross for your sins.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you're not, you know what I mean?
And people kind of like use that in the way of like, oh, I'm already saved, do whatever I want.
Right.
But so in that case, it's like, you need to still like, yeah, you are saved, but you need to still feel like that and still ask for that forgiveness and still like resolve this thing and move past it. So yeah, I don't agree with like living with it forever and like regretting everything you do. And yeah, sure, you can like look past and be like, yeah, it brought me here. And given the option, I wouldn't go back in time and change everything because then I wouldn't have what I have now. But coming to terms with things is important, in my opinion.
So you think we should feel some sort of regret for bad decisions, but it shouldn't be a permanent regret.
Should move on.
Yeah.
Move on, right? Move on, acknowledge it. I did it. It's over and move on. Again, it's focusing on the solution, not the problem. He said, repent or whatever it is, do. But here's the thing is like, Gio, we talk about all this stuff, right? And these details of this to be and that to be and that to be. But what is the main answer? What is the answer to all this stuff? Instead of going down all these rabbit holes, right, and figuring all these things, right? I mean, for me, it's put God first and stay in a positive place, right? And do good things. It simplifies it for me. Because we go down these rabbit holes and these details of everything, you know what I mean, constantly, right? And I get it, and my mind does it on its own. But like if I put God first and I stay on a high vibration, if I stay in a positive vibration, right? Like it's the cure for all of these things. You know what I'm saying? It simplifies it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's not necessarily the right. I mean, of course, there's so many right answers, but it is a good answer and it's right for you. Like, sure, for me, I could say, don't care what other people think and, look for the good things in life and the positive situations. Stay out of your head too much, occupy your time, all these different things, and they're all good answers. So, I mean, I would agree with yours.
Vibration. How do you feel about that? Do you feel that everything's based on vibration? Like I
don't understand vibration.
A physical energy that you exert?
I think there is some kind of, I guess maybe subconscious or like hidden, like consciousness, like even that, or being able to feel the room or like the air, or the atmosphere in a conversation is like out of touch. Like we don't even understand that, but we can feel it, and we can feel when someone's upset and like feel these things around us. So in that, like I do agree with that and like this hidden thing, but I don't necessarily understand like.
Well, vibration is the same thing as the negative and positive thing. Like what you're putting out, that's what vibration is. So like you're putting out a certain vibration, so that's the vibration you get back. That's what vibration is. So the same thing, you're putting out a positive vibration, you're getting a positive vibration back and positive results. You put out a negative one. So vibration is just negative and positive. That's what they mean by it. It's a vibration of everything. Everything is connected, bro.
Yeah. And then I would agree with that concept.
Okay. Pretty educated answer. Let's watch another one of those videos, bro. Shows about you, brother, son.
Yeah.
The purpose one.
All right. Second day of doing this talking thing. Topic for this one is purpose. What is a purpose? What is your purpose? I don't know. But in my own life, in my experience so far, and more recently, I've been thinking, like, what is my purpose? Or if I want one, or if I need one. And I've kind of come to this conclusion, like, I don't want a purpose. I don't want, like, some goal or desire to consume my life and keep me from things and, like experiences in the present. Like, there's this quote from this show. It's this dude Griffith from this show Berserk. And he has like this desire to rule a kingdom, and he says he doesn't want to live in this life just because he was born into it. And I do agree with that, and I admire this guy's perspective of like having this end goal, but I don't want that. I just want to live and experience the now. So I've actually thought about this one a lot. Maybe slightly changed my perspective on the concept of like purpose and what I said. But like the dude in the show I was quoting, whatever, like he has this, desire, this goal he wants to achieve. And in the show, like I don't agree with, what he did to get there because it was very bad. But I don't think it's wrong. And I wasn't saying in the video I think it's wrong, but just for me, I don't necessarily want, or at least now I don't have some kind of goal to be an engineer or, like I like kinesiology and that's maybe what I'll do in college, but like do that or pursue like a sport or be a bodybuilder. Like I just don't have this goal that consumes my life that I revolve everything around. And I don't necessarily want that. And that's what I meant.
And that's okay, dude. And what you want today has nothing to do with what you want tomorrow. Like new experiences create new things that we want. You know what I mean? That's why I don't like worry about you or what it is that you want to do. But I love what you said about staying in the now. I love what you say about staying in the now, man. That surprised me, bro.
Yeah, like all I really worry about now is just like what's going on today. What do I have to get done today? What do I want to do today? Whatever. And it's like, why am I going to worry about something, years later that will probably change? Like my situation, maybe we move or, something happens and, like it's just worthless.
It's worthless to worry about that stuff, right? To future trip. Well, that's good. That's good that you're getting a hold of that. And I think like living like that and living in the now is when you can hear God tell you what your thing is. You know what I'm saying? When all that noise is gone about future tripping or whatnot, then the answers will come to you. And I also believe it comes to you at the right time. You know what I mean? But like if he said, if I go down this road where I'm chasing this purpose of this thing that I really don't even like engineering school or whatever, then you're not able to hear God or hear what your thing is. You get what I'm saying? Do you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's important to always be conscious of wherever you're at, God has you exactly where you need to be. And even if you're in a position in life where you're in a negative situation or you're going through a hardship or something's going on that's undesirable, like those things need to happen. And you should just embrace those situations as they come, negative or positive, embrace it and and give your all into just addressing every situation in life as it comes rather than constantly like you're constantly trying to plan for the future. Like planning for the future, yeah, it's good, but I agree also with like, living in the now is how you're going to live a fulfilled life.
Right. And I agree with it, but I also disagree, bro, because, I talk about a lot about a man having a purpose. You know what I mean? It just gives like a certain sense of fulfillment in your life, which I have one. I have kids. I have a business. I have stuff like that. He's 17. What are you laughing about, bro? He's 17, bro. Right. But I'm telling you, like when I feel lost or I don't feel of, I don't know. I don't feel good, bro. Like I feel lost, dude, if I don't have some kind of a purpose. And maybe I'm wrong for that. You know what I'm saying? But for me, and I encourage men to have a purpose. You know what I mean? I understand what he's saying is not letting your purpose consume you. And he's 17. So I'm not saying that he's wrong in thinking that way. But what I'm saying is that for me personally, like I have to be doing something in the world. That's where I don't have to be, but that's where most of my fulfillment comes from.
But I think there's a difference between having a purpose mentally and spiritually, and then having a purpose as far as where you want to take your physical self in life, right? Like I think you more talk about having like a purpose mentally, spiritually, like you're not necessarily saying this is this one thing that I have to do with my life, right? And I think kind of what you were saying in that video, or the way I interpret it, is like you don't have to create this career path for yourself, and you don't have to say this is what I'm gonna be when as a career, and this like you don't have to plan your life out that way. Right. But and I think there's a differentiation between those two things. I think there's a spiritual purpose and then there's a physical purpose, and I don't think the physical purpose is always so important.
And he does have a purpose though. He loves the gym. like that does bring that brings you purpose, right?
Yeah.
That's something that you look forward to. That's something you love. That, you know what I'm saying? So you do have purpose, right? So your purpose, you're talking about a different purpose. So I get that. So you already have purpose. You know what I mean?
So I did want to clarify, like right after watching that. But it's like, I don't disagree, and I don't think it's wrong. And I think it's personally dependent. Like, you feel fulfilled when you have something you're working towards. Like, I'm sure millions of people do. And it's kind of what I was saying is like, I don't need some goal or job or like destined family, or I have to have this or this to like feel fulfilled or like feel like accomplished.
Right.
Like,
right,
I just want to become, and I didn't have enough time. Like, I'm trying to keep them like 60 seconds on the videos, but I want to become, and like my goal is to become like a better and improved version of like a human being, like to have like emotional intelligence and to be aware of situations and to like be someone who has an answer, like when you come to talk about whatever subject it is, like not necessarily school or whatever, but it's like, that's what I want out of life. And that's what I want to become, not a school teacher or an engineer or, you know, a physical therapist. Like, I want to be that, like, it's like personal. It's not like a career,
bro.
Like that's what I want.
That's what we're talking about. And by the way, that's my son, you guys, my 17-year-old son, that's coming out of his mouth, bro. But that's what we talk about here, is making yourself better, right? And then the answers and all those things will come, your purpose and everything else. And that's what because that's what he's saying right now, is becoming a better person. It's conquering your own spiritual and mental and physical human body, right? It's like conquering that and making it the best you can make it, correct? Dude.
How'd you come up with this idea to do these 60-second videos?
I saw there's this dude, Higher Up Wellness, and he, I think it was like accidentally like created this, I guess, trend you can call it, of people trying to speak for 100 days to improve their speaking. But I kind of used it, and I do it too, because I feel like I have a lot to talk about. And so I wanted to use it to like spread and share like my opinions and my perspective of the world and myself. Not necessarily to improve my speaking skills. I mean, yeah, that might be like an indirect, you know, goal, but I just wanted to share what I always think about.
You don't really know why, you're just doing it, right?
Yeah. But I just,
get that.
Yeah, I always think, and I talk to myself in my car about whatever, or to my friends, I'm talking about whatever it is. And it's like, you know, why not record it? And it's like, so.
Dude, I love it, bro. And also, listen, don't worry about contradicting yourself, because I know what you're saying. Like, you say something on a video and you're like, oh, I wanted to explain it better or whatever. And me, I know people think that I contradict myself, right? But like Alan made a good point. It's like you get new information and you learn new things as you go, right? So you know how you read a book, you can read it 10 times and you see 10 different things out of it. Well, it's the same thing with speaking and learning about yourself. So don't ever feel like worried about going back to a video. You know what I mean? Speak whatever new knowledge that you've learned and whatever new feelings that you're feeling.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about like going back on this podcast thing and like clipping me clarifying what I was saying and like maybe putting it back in just to
we can do that.
Further expand. Like, that's what I was thinking about doing on my thing. But yeah, so.
Yeah, I think it's okay to like to not think the same thing about something tomorrow. Think about it the same way that you thought about it today. Like, it's okay to change your perspective on things. And like, people always, like you said, want to point out like, oh, you're a fucking hypocrite because you said this yesterday and now you're saying this. But like that's okay, dude. It's okay to change your perspective. It's okay to, you know, as new knowledge comes, like it's okay to adapt to that knowledge coming in and changing the way that you think about things. You don't have to, like, if we weren't always changing like that wouldn't be a fulfilled life. Like, the whole point in life is to constantly change as you learn and as you grow and as you become, you know, the person that you want to become. And you know, and people look down on that, but I think the people that look down on that are the people that don't want to put in the work.
Yeah,
they're
too scared. Yeah, the people that want to talk crap are too scared to come on here and do this, right? They're too scared. And not only that, if they're getting mad, it's because of something they see in themselves. But the coolest part about all that is you can say like, oh, you know what? I had that wrong. This is the right way. Yeah, I said that. So what?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I love about this podcast. And I love what you're doing when you made those videos. It made me so happy because, hey, this is who I am. This is what I believe in. This is how I feel. And I'm telling the world, and I don't give a shit what you think. This is me. It's a freedom of sin. The biggest thing in life, bro, is for me to be free of who I am and to be comfortable with that and to accept that. Like that's true freedom, bro. I am who I am. I'm okay with it. And I don't care what you think. And when you live like, that's real freedom, bro. That's free from self-destructing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was my last like 60-second talking thing was like doing things because like you want to, and I talked about like being free.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
from that, and just like
yeah, dude.
Yeah, I'm just like just way happier and way less stressed because I like to do what I like. I do what I want, and you know, whether it looks bad or not, or uncomfortable or
and the thing is, bro, is authenticity is going to attract more authenticity into your life, and it's going to bring more people like that. That's when you know things are true. When you're authentic, and then but if you're not being authentic, bro, you can't trust relationships and friendships and girlfriendships and all this stuff, right? Because you're not being your authentic self, right? So it's just a freedom of being who God made you to be. You know what I'm saying? And then if anybody comes, they come. If they don't, they don't.
Right.
Dude, I have so much respect for you, son. I'm so freaking proud of you, man. I swear to God, dude, you have no idea. I know you don't like compliments, bro, but I'm just like, I'm just like, dude, I don't know where you came from, bro. You know?
Yeah, it seems like you're really like getting to a point in life where you're living up to no one else's standards but your own, and like you're setting that for yourself, and you're not gonna let anyone hold you back from being who it is you want to be and doing what it is that you want to do. And I think at your age, as you grow into, you know, like you're basically an adult now, you know, by legal terms, and definitely a lot further mentally than a lot of adults I know. And I think that's the perfect time for you to start just kind of setting your own standards. And if people don't like what you're doing with yourself, forget them. You know, it's your life, and you get to set that life up the way that you want to. So I respect that and admire that.
Bro, anybody I meet or see is older from church or whatnot, dude, they have so many great things. I don't think you really know who you are yet. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. And you're super humble, man. And I respect that, bro. But, dude, nobody else is doing this shit, dude. You know what I'm saying? Nobody else is, bro. So be proud of yourself, dude.
Okay. I feel like, a lot of people that are still, I guess, not developed, you know, in the way you guys are saying I am, not saying I am, but I feel like it comes to like a lot of self-reflection, and like I feel like a lot of people don't self-reflect and they're too afraid, or they do and they realize they don't like themselves and they ignore it and they continue on. And so you have to like put your ego past and like look at yourself, realize what you're doing is wrong. You should be reacting a different way. You should be holding back this emotion, you know, to these people at least, and like actively and intentionally, you know, put that in your life instead of ignoring it and letting it linger.
Yeah.
So
people, so man, it's so scary. It was a video I made a long time ago, bro. It's going to be scary, and I know you don't want to, but you have to look at yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the thing is, oh shit, this is who I am, right? And accept that and love yourself, man. Where you are at, and you know what I mean, and what you're doing, acknowledge it and take actions to fix it. I love it, man.
Right. Like you said, a lot of people are scared to address those parts of themselves, and kind of like what we were talking about on Sunday, there's those negative parts of yourself, and if you don't address those parts of yourself that you don't actually like, you just push it further and further down in you, and eventually it comes out, right?
Yeah.
And if you can sit back and reflect and address that side of yourself, and I don't like this about myself, I'm gonna change it. That's how you get where you want to go. Otherwise, you stay stagnant, and you never grow.
And your life is shit, bro, because whatever you embody, whoever you are, is a direct reflection of your life. The people in your life, the things you have, everything that you have is a direct reflection of the inside, right? So if we go inside first and we fix that shit up and we go through the pain, right, our life can change. But if we continue to try to change things with outside things, there will never be no change.
Yeah.
There will just be a Band-Aid put on it.
Right. Do you think it's necessary to go through pain in life?
Absolutely. Yeah. I feel like if you run away from pain and hardship all your life, I mean, it's not going to lead you anywhere other than, you know, things that sound depressing or like
More pain and more hardship.
yeah, like if you don't take risks and you don't do things and you're so like worried about other people think, it's just like I feel like that's so bland.
Right. Like, how can you know the feeling of bliss if you don't know the feeling of pain?
Yeah, like I feel like everyone should feel embarrassed often. Like everyone should feel embarrassment because like despite whatever it is, like I've been so embarrassed lately. Like when I record in the gym or whatever, or it's like the video where Aiden's dragging me across the floor. It's like, bro, that was mad embarrassing. But it's like, you know, so what? It's gonna be funny. I'm doing it. No one else is gonna remember in 10 minutes. So it's like, you know, whatever.
But you're building on that, bro, because I'm telling you, I went through that when I first started recording videos, and I go through that too, where I think it's stupid, right? And you start building on that, and you start caring less and caring less.
Mhm.
And the thing is, we think everybody's thinking about us, bro, and they're not, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because we're all the main character in our life, right?
We're
We're all the main character in our story, and then we get in that mindset of, well, we're the main character in everyone else's life too, and that's just purely
cares,
not true. You know what I mean? And you have to be conscious of that, because once you get to the point where you're trying to be that main character in other people's lives, that's how you ruin relationships. You ruin your own happiness, and you hold yourself back.
It's ego, bro. It's ego. It happens to me all the time, man. And I catch myself, bro. And it's just ego driven, man.
Yeah. Yeah. When you filmed that video where you were being dragged, you were like in Target or something, right?
No, it was in the gym.
Or so like
so funny, bro.
So the two parts was like stop walking to limit fatigue. That was a joke. So one part of it was like getting dragged and carried up to a machine, and the other one was like using a mobility scooter in Target to like ride.
But it looked like your body was like dead. The way it was like limp, the way he lifted it up, bro. It looked sick, dude. It was. I mean, dude, his videos are so. And I'm not saying this stuff just because you're my son, bro. Like, it's legitimately good shit, bro.
Yeah, it is. It is. They didn't try to kick you out of Target?
No, we were messing around too. We thought we were like following an employee for a while, and then like every time he'd look back at us, we'd like act like we were checking something out. I don't know, but
so I think that's it for this one, boys.
Bro. Thank you so much for coming, G.
I appreciate it,
man.
Hey, yeah, it's over, bro. But you don't even know. Like, you think it's nothing, and then once it gets clipped and edited, it's a whole different story, man. Yeah, bro. Thank you guys on the live, man, for watching. It's my son, Giovanni.
Follow him. You want to shout out your socials? You just got TikTok, or you have anything else?
I mean, I have an Instagram, but it's like my personal.
Oh yeah, but Geo, what?
It's everything is haunt 6. Everything is haunt 6.
The number 6.
I thought it was Geogasm.
Yeah, that's like my name, but it's like the actual username is everything is haunt 6. It's
everything
like,
is haunt. What?
It meant to be everything is haunted. It's from the song, but everything is haunt 6.
6. Okay,
that's just
everything
how it is. I'm probably going to
6.
change it eventually, but
all right. Well, go there, guys. Follow, support, and thank you for watching. We appreciate you guys. Hit us up on social media: YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Comment, like, share, subscribe. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. We're out.
Later.
Peace.